So today on Project Shop, we are going to attempt to fix this bent trailer axle. Now, the spindle got wiped out. I bought a new spindle and welded it to the axle, but I had it on my welding table, and I really didn't have a good way of clocking the spindle this way. I got it that way pretty good, but as you can see, it is wiping out that tire. I did travel a lot and went pretty far. Went halfway across the state, went down to Miami a couple times, but it basically just smoked a brand new tire. So what we're gonna attempt to do today is we're gonna pull the tire off, probably pull the hub off, put the castle nut back on the spindle. I'm gonna just heat the axle up and see if I can't uke that thing back into place. Okay, so this thing is like about 1.5 inches to the center, or 1 3/8 inches to that thing right there, and then on this side we're like 1 3/4 inches. So we gotta bring the axle forward. It's actually bent out and it's just wiping out the whole tire. And I have a lot of scrapping to do this week, so it is very important that I at least attempt to fix it. If not, I'm just gonna have to spend the money and buy a new axle, which I really didn't want to do. Thinking back, what I should have done is tack welded it up and actually installed the thing in here, and then figured out some way of measuring, maybe clamping something to the brake black backing plate or something like that, just so I can get a measurement. Because now we're just going to do a bunch of work and we don't even know if we're going to make it, or how much are we going to actually have to bend it. So I'm actually, once I get it off, I'm actually going to try to hook something, a straight edge to that thing, something I can get some measurements off of, and hopefully we'll get this thing back into shape and not burn up some tires and go make some money. Okay, this is the sketchy redneck engineering solution that I've come up with. So I've taken one of my squares and I clamped it right to the face of that, which should be pretty pretty kind of true with everything, and we'll come in about 2 inches. So we're at like 3 there, or I'm sorry, like 1.5 inches. And we're at like 2.5. Okay, we're at like 2.5, and right over here we're at like 3. I'm coming in a little bit because of that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start heating this thing up while pulling on it that way and keeping a little pressure on it. This nice, basically 6-foot pipe. Now what I've done is I've taken the hub and the bearing off. I put the castle nut back on, so we're not going to mess up the threads. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this up right here. Now we don't need much, so I'm hoping I can just get that to twist a little bit. I don't think I'd be able to get that big pipe to flex. I think I'm just gonna, I need that 1/2 inch. And it's really not even that much, man. It's just a little tweak. We need to come in a little bit. Now I don't know how much fuel I got in here. My 1 gauge got messed up. We're running pretty low on oxygen and acetylene, so what I'm going to do is preheat it with this as much as I can. I'm going to get it pretty hot, and then we're just going to hit it with the torch real quick and then crank this baby over. I'm going to put a little pressure on it and see what it does. I don't want it to bend at the spindle. I want it to bend down here because I don't want it like messing up the bearings. Although, I mean, we might have to just scrap this whole axle. I don't know. But I am really regretting not doing this. I should have tack welded that thing, or came out. I should have done it out here with my little 110 welder, tacked it in, squared it, you know, and then brought it back in and hit it with the big 220 welder like I did. But you know, hey, it is what it is. And now we're here with a hopefully a simple fix. We're just going to heat it up, tweak it, hopefully not burn. I'm going to use that as a spare. I have another tire I'm going to throw in here, a good one, and hopefully we'll be ready to haul some heavy scrap. I got some big boy stuff coming, man. I'm hoping if things go right, we're gonna max this trailer out, so we need it running optimal. Okay. I don't even think we needed the strap. That looks to eye much better. We're at like 2 3/4 to the center. 2 3/4 to the center. That's a lot better. Way out here, way out there. Okay. Hey, I think we fixed it. So I'm just gonna let that slowly cool, and then I have, oh, that was dumb. Oh, my thing is melting off. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, actually just by eye it looks better. So I'm going to let that cool down, and then I'll throw a little bit of fresh grease in there. That grease looked really good, and we'll get this back together. Tomorrow I have a huge load of copper to bring down to Miami. This will be my dedicated spare now, and then we'll see if we smoke another tire. I mean, it took a pretty long time to get this tire. Now it's not all the way down to the wear bars, it's still decent, but it took 50% of what tread was on there and mowed it right down. There's a nice slant on that, but that actually was a little easier than I thought. Once I got that pretty hot, it moved relatively easy. I'm gonna let it cool down, and then I'll recheck it before I put everything back together, but I think we're good here. And I got a huge week ahead of me, and we need both of these trailers. I am trying to get on this trailer over here, replacing the sides. It's actually a nice trailer. It just needs, it's got mismatched rims. I have all wagon wheels for it. But I need to get 4 new tires. The tires that are on it are good. They're all mismatched. I think the front tires are actually smaller than the rear tires. But other than, I think, one brake light not working with this trailer, that trailer is pretty good. But there's a lot of stuff I want to do to that thing. And then there's obviously still stuff, this trailer needs a lot of work. One, the brake lights are trashed. I need to rewire the whole trailer. I still need to go get the nuts for the brakes. I bought new hubs with the brakes, but it didn't come with the bolts to bolt it to the spindle. So I just haven't been, every time I go over to the scrap yard I actually forget. I think what I'm going to do is actually put the brake kit like in my truck so I remember. But you know, I got so much going on that I'm lucky I remember to put pants on in the morning. All right, so I checked everything, it's good. Now I got my spotlight on here, but I just put another spotlight that I got in scrap. I got 3 of them. 2 of them are good. Watch how bright that light is. It's one of the brightest lights I've ever seen. Go ahead, hit that, Steve. Look at this. Look at the darkness. Now I used to think that light used to be bright. Watch this. Boom. I mean, this thing lit up the whole neighborhood, man. That's the brightest light. I've never seen an LED that bright, man. It's like daylight out here, man. The tops of the trees are super bright, man. So now that we can see everything, I did go and verify this thing cooled down and didn't move, so we're still right on our 2 3/4 or whatever it was. I'm just going to clean that up a little bit, put some fresh grease on there, put that. I got enough fresh tire here, some good tread, so we'll be able to see. Tomorrow we're going to load this trailer down tonight with well, we're not going to load it tonight, but in the morning we're going to load this thing up with a ton of copper, and hopefully we'll get to that trailer full of scrap over there, get that thing emptied. I got a job for that tomorrow. Got a job for this tomorrow. We got a lot of stuff to do. So I got transformers. Got a bunch of 1,000-watt transformers here, and some 1,500 watters to pull the copper out of. But for now, I'm gonna hit the time lapse. We're gonna get this all dialed back up, cleaned up, check all the pressures on all these tires. I think I'm gonna bring my hammer out here and beat that fender up a little bit if I can. I'm gonna beat this up. I had a blowout one time. It's funny, when I'm pulling this trailer with my truck, which is missing a fender because someone sideswiped me, and this thing, it looks like the whole side of my rig got wrecked, but this was totally unrelated. This was a blowout. It literally blew a tire, and before I could pull over, it just beat the fender so bad. Thank God I had a sawzall, because I had to cut it off on the side of the road. Yeah, we got a lot of work to do to this trailer yet, but in the meantime, we're just going to make sure that we're not chewing up tires. Okay, there you have it. Now, just looking down this, it looks pretty much perfect compared to visually before I could actually see the tire. And I think I actually stated in the first video when I replaced the spindle that it looked like it was bent out, and sure enough it was. It looks like we got it, and time will tell. So stay tuned in future videos. I'll give updates on it. Also, I'm gonna make a mental note and probably put a note on my dashboard that next time I go to the scrap yard to go get the bolts for my brake kit, and then we're gonna have to do something with the wiring. Man, I've rewired this trailer probably 4 or 5 times since I've owned it. Probably 10 years I've had this trailer, and I can tell you that pretty much every time I've rewired it is because I'll buy a wire kit and those stupid wires always turn, the copper turns to like a white powder. So I think what I'm going to do is actually, I like how people always slow down and look over here. Always eyeballing my copper. Anyway, it always comes down to those wires just disintegrating and deteriorating. It is like, for whatever reason, the trailers are made from the crappiest stuff possible. We really need to figure something out. I think I have some 5-wire, like 3-phase cable. I might just rewire it with that, see if that does any better. Now, it is, you know, trailer wire. We don't want to be using too thick of a wire because you got to push the volts all the way through it. And, you know, I don't know. It just seems like that wire is like the lowest quality. How does copper even turn into a white powder anyway. That makes me think it's not even copper. Maybe it's aluminum coated with copper. I don't know, but it's hot garbage, and we need to sort it out because I don't even know if I got brake lights on this thing. I don't know. So if you've come this far, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for some more trailer repair because we're gonna dial this thing in so it looks the part. And wait to see what I want to do with this thing right here. I think we're gonna add a second winch to it, which is gonna be pretty cool. And I'll tell you why in a future video. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. Dancing. You ever seen your copper dance before? The only problem with that jaw, sometimes it messes these ends up where it's hard to get through the machine, but it's well worth it. Now we're getting down into the good stuff.